Yo, Joe, what's happening? Bliss Receptor, Miss a B, Mr. Ordinary Crumbs, baby. What's going on, my man? Jazz Wizzy, thank you for the notice. I see that the Big Cartel email complaint line is working, just so anybody who wanted to know if it was working or not. Yes, it's working. I see them. I see your emails. And Bootleg Toyco, what's up, man? Hey, man, I'm just trying to be like you. I'm trying to be like you, man. Sick chain. Trying to be like you, buddy. So man, bummer news to start off, right? With the Hurt Toys deal. They're sick pieces, man. They are done. We're actually gonna give away one tonight. It's gonna be super sick. Tone, what's up, my man? But the shop just I've been in this loop for the last 3 or 4 days of trying to get these accounts confirmed. And Barbarian Rage, my man, what's up? Hobo Toys, what's going on? But I got in this kind of God, I don't know what you call it, conundrum, I guess, of trying to verify these accounts. And I remember back in the day, they would send you basically a weird minute amount to your bank account and say, hey, we're going to deposit this. We're going to take the money back out, and then, let us know how much the amounts were. And basically that would verify your account. So still the same process today, but they do it with 2 separate transactions. So I got the first one on Tuesday, no problem. This is working. And then I'm waiting for the second one, waiting for the second one, waiting for the second one. Wednesday's going by. Here we are Thursday, nothing. Called PayPal, no info. Called my bank, no info. So here we are. Hopefully that will correct itself today or tomorrow, and then we'll do the drop again on Saturday. I will post about that though to let everybody know what's going on. So in the meantime, we will do other things. Episode 103 tonight, as you can read down at the bottom. Thank you everybody for joining us on the replay if you're watching it at home. Cavedweller Toys is in the house tonight. We are going to talk to him about a whole bunch of different things. Phantom Lake, we got a whole stack of Phantom Lake goodness over here. Oh, and there he is, my man. What is going on? We got a nice stack of framed, everything. Prints, stickers, packaging from the man himself, Phantom Lake. We'll take a look at those. And then we will get into the Hurt Toys Skull Crusher 3.75. I'm going to show you this just because we're going to give this away. So you shouldn't be that upset that the drop didn't happen, because you still have a chance to win this. Yeah, boy. Check out that in the ToyzAlive pink. 3.75 magnetic articulation. Yeah. Giving this guy away tonight. This is not a carded one. You got to hit the ToyzAlive store drop for the carded one, if that ever happens, and it will. So we got that Hurt Toy sticker. The other thing that we have tonight is the DKE giveaway box with the false idol piece in there from Addy Toy. I could not find Addy Toy on Instagram. If anybody knows what Addy Toy's account is, go ahead and drop that in the links or in the chat. We also got the Invisible Sucklord. That's cool. Suckathon, bam. Manly Art, bam. We still have a lot more of these to give out. So that'll be another one. Oh, don't forget the dope sticker. Bam. All right. Hurt Toys. Chat, man, and what a night, right? I guess it's cool that we'll show the giveaway again. I mean, I do have that. I didn't completely fuck up everything, just the one main thing. So yeah, these are sick. I've seen them all. They are very, very nice. These are going to be carded pieces. $40. It's a great deal. Original artwork on the backer. Like I said, we will go and we'll plan for that for Saturday morning, probably 10 a.m. my time. Stormico, what's up? Besides that, we got Cavedweller tonight. We got the Phantom Lake stuff. We got the 2 giveaways. And then we will shimmy on out of here next week. Really good show. It's actually me, Crumbs. It's actually me. I'm typing with my foot here under Hertz account. But yeah, believe it or not, I believe he is in the house. Next week, Yo-Yo Dine Toy Division is in the house. That will be a really good one. Cave, let's see what time we got. 6:06. Let's bring Cavedweller in. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. The upcoming GI show coming up in 2 weeks, week after next. Death and Strawberries, who I was just informed within the last few days is pretty much the GI Joe resident expert, along with my guest Cavedweller Toys tonight and Kajiki. So I will have Death and Strawberries on the show next week, along with the Jazz Wizard. So it'll be the 3 amigos next week. Myself, Jazz Wizard, and Death and Strawberries. We will cover the GI show in 2 hours. There's about 44 artists in there, which is a great amount to do, at least for a 2-hour show to get those covered. And let's see. Let me bring up the correct banner here for Cavedweller Toys. Bam. There we go. All right. Cavedweller Toys coming in the house. I'm bringing him on right now. You ready to go, my man? Ready to go. Here we go.
Hey.
Hello again.
Here I am.
We were just chatting about 7 minutes ago. So here we are again, huh?
Yeah, I was pretending to be her toys.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
Have you seen my new drop tonight? It's going great.
Oh, God. Oh, man.
So how's it going?
It's going good, man. It is busy as usual. I would say it's Suki, what's up, man? I would say that you're probably busier than myself at the moment, especially within the last couple months.
Oh, yeah.
You and I were talking just before the show, and man, we are in, I don't know if we're going to start calling this like the show season. These last few months, I mean, I think it could certainly be that. Zero Pop Art, what's going on? It could definitely be the season for that, right? I mean, we had 3 or 4 shows within it seems like within just a few weeks span. How are you recovering, man? I mean, I know it's got to be, one piece, get it done next. One piece, get it done next. You got the GI show coming up in the next 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
You are the one who's busy, my man. Tell me about that.
Well, I have taken a little inspiration from Ocular Rhombus, and I've just been doing kit bash stuff.
Hey,
who's got time to make molds, right?
Yeah. Hey, man, I mean, with how many one-offs that guy comes up with and some of his stuff, I was putting away some of his stuff the other day, and just a phenomenal amount of stuff, dude. So was that part of the plan going in when you say, man, I'm looking at these shows and I got all these shows to do in a very short amount of time? Do you start planning ahead saying, what can I put together quickly that looks legit?
Yeah, I sort of had planned out. I started just basically from the process of thinking about what molds I have available and just what parts I could have available, and just sort of, I don't know, this show I'm going to take more time with, get this done fast, more time, less time. Like the Ninja Turtle show, I made molds for. I'm working on a full run of figures still. This guy, Vanilla Slice.
Yes. There. Vanilla Slice. How are those going?
I have 4 made at this point.
Nice.
So, and there'll be surprise variations and all that.
Nice.
So this guy's got full molds. And then I got my robot guy for the Robot Resurrection. It's Shrek. And that was a quick kit bash.
Yeah, legit. Nice.
And then my wrestling guy
I like that one,
is
man.
partly cat. This is a resin cast, the head. It's actually my dump mold. I have like 20 magnets of this tiki head. It's a 70s tiki mold,
Oh, that's cool. I like
but
that.
it's bashed together from wrestlers, painted, make it
Nice.
all look nice. And then for the GI Joe show, I'm not sure if I'm going to be casting yet. I have barely started, and I have 2 weeks, so I don't know. We'll see what happens there.
I was just gonna say, man, we're getting close on that one, man. But that's
Woo!
cool.
Down to
Um,
the wire.
down to the wire, man. That's it. Um, so let's hit the rewind button, dude, and just go back. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, obviously, currently. I know that.
Wayne's World.
Yeah, great movie, man. What a great movie. Do you remember how popular that movie was when it came out?
I believe I have seen that movie like 500 times.
At least, right? And I mean, it's funny, dude. I mean, I can still drop references like Noah's Arcade, right? And not too many people pick up on that, but some people are like, you know, I work with
Mhm.
this one guy and he starts giving me the whole jingle. It's fresh, it's cool, it's what that song that
Come
uh
bust the move where the games are played.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
You know that's Bill Murray's brother. That's Brian Doyle Murray.
Yes, exactly, man. That guy is now if Kajiki's in the house, he would know, but Kajiki is the or that dude is also the father of the Bubble Boy in the Seinfeld series. So
Oh yeah.
that dude's been in everything, man. He was in like National Lampoon's Vacation, like way
Hmm.
back, like what late 70s. He was like I think he worked out. He was like the camp guy. Um,
Always funny.
Always funny, man. Really good. Um, well, that was a left turn, man. Let's get back on track here. So we were just just knowing
So
you and
I
kind of knowing your collection and stuff like that. Let's go back to just kind of growing up as a kid. I know that turtles were big for you. I know that GI Joe was big for you. um are you still collecting the vintage stuff?
um to a degree, I like to collect the knockoffs and bootlegs. I've really gotten most of everything that I have wanted. I'm about 5 figures short of a complete set of Masters of the Universe vintage,
Oh, nice.
and that's those last few figures I need are like hundreds of dollars and not worth it. So
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
absolutely, man. That's about the only vintage line that I ever really collected. And once I got to the point of exactly what you said, man, getting some of those harder ones, I just kind of
I'm
gave
not
it
I'm
up.
not paying $1,000 for a European ogre. You know,
Yeah, well, no kidding. Yeah, then you get into the variants, and that's a whole nother story, man. But um, yeah, so that's gosh, dude, and how large is your collection, man? I assume that if you've been collecting that long, it's got to be astronomical.
I live in a hoarder pile of toys. That's pretty much it. I have thousands of figures. My wife collects stuff too, so
Oh
it's
man,
just shelves and cases everywhere.
yeah. Yeah, dude, how do you find room for all that stuff, man? I can see
I
your
I don't.
So have you boxed stuff up and it's just not on
Yeah.
display at all?
You
Yeah,
ever
is
see
it
there's a meme I saw one time that was like your complete and box Star Wars collection, and it was just a stack of plastic tubs. That's you
that's
know.
great. And I know there's a few guys out there who actually, yeah, I don't know if you watch that show Toy Federation on YouTube.
Yeah, a
Uh,
little bit.
yeah, they do. Sometimes these people bring in these collections that are just absolutely massive, man. I know that like we were talking before the show, Total Madness Customs. He's down in Southern California. He does a lot of sales where they're just lots of stuff. I know Justice Curry. He does the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I've gotten to the point where I'm starting to like get rid of stuff. You
ugh,
know,
how many Shreks are you at? Crumb says 200, 300.
thousands. Here, I've got this big box VHS of Shrek right here. I was
Nice.
just keeping it at the handy. See, it's like the old big horror movies. Comes in a fat box.
Okay.
Look at that, Shrek.
Oh man.
So yeah, and then of course I'm wearing a Shrek shirt right now too.
All right. So what's the deal with Shrek? Are you just a Shrek fan? Is this something between you and Kajiki? Kajiki seems like he's always bagging on you for Shrek. What's going
Okay,
on?
this is complicated, but I can explain it to you.
All right.
Do you want the short answer or the long answer?
We got an hour. Lay it on me, man.
Okay, well the short answer is that Shrek is the greatest movie of all time.
Okay.
The long answer is I used to clown around with a coworker because I thought he called me donkey one day. And I was like, okay. Every time I would find a picture of, I would find a Shrek item at the store, I would take a picture of it and send it to him.
Okay.
And one day I was at the mall and I held up a Shrek shirt like I was going to buy it, like I was sizing it up to see how big it was, right?
Yeah.
And so this picture is just sitting in my camera roll. And then me and Kajeki are doing the GI show and we're watermarking the pictures. He's like, here, test out the logo to see what'll work. And I watermarked my Shrek t-shirt picture with the GI show logo. And that was like so now it's just become a thing. It's completely out of hand.
It is out of hand. And the fact that you butcher his name so bad, I hope that's
Project Tiger's going to whine at me.
Kajeki, man. I haven't heard that one. Just keep saying Kajeki.
Kajeki. I can say it right. I just choose not to.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying, man. A little dig here and there. That never hurts. He
It's
did
like
he did say he liked your mask that you were wearing tonight when you came on. That was very nice of him.
oh yeah, my like I'm Rocky Dennis.
Ah,
I
shit.
Cher can be my mom.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Uh,
So going back, man. So that was a thing for you as a kid, and then so obviously that's never really left, man. That's kind of have you just kind of been on the hunt, dude, all these years for stuff that you're missing?
yes, that's pretty much it. I mean, like it's one of those things. Like I used to flea markets, thrift stores all the time. The thing is, like when you go, you can't really fill gaps in your collection that way.
Yeah,
Eventually, you get to a point where you need specific things, and you're not going to, unless it's a miracle, you're not going to find it at the thrift store.
yeah, that's true, man. It's gosh, do you and so is that do you ever go to thrift stores and look for that, or what is your main source of acquiring these items?
I, my buddy Chuck, who I host my podcast with, I get the back room deal if anything I need comes in. So I've got like the hookup if something I need shows up, basically. But
Nice.
DFW has a lot of local toy stores though, compared to a lot of places. We've got Retro Madness and Horror Freak and Dallas Vintage and Empire Toys and all over the place.
Nice. So I was gonna say, man, where are you from? So you're out in old Texas, huh? There's quite a few people out there.
Yep,
Uh,
out in DFW.
yeah, nice, very cool. So moving along, gosh, dude, tell me when it started actually in this arena, getting on Instagram, posting stuff. I saw you have just over 500 posts, so it's not like you just showed up. Uh,
Yeah.
you've been here a while, and then kind of how did that come about, and what's going on?
Well, I can tell you exactly how that came about. Underworld Muscle, right? I
Yeah,
mean, obviously Toy Walker, he's one of the OG guys. He doesn't really do anything anymore.
yeah,
But he used to have a blog about knockoff toys. And I love knockoff toys, but I saw that he was making figures and I was like, oh snap, that's wild. So I had never even considered the fact that people make their own, like, I mean, obviously custom figures back in the day, the toy magazines used to have like homemade heroes.
right.
But the idea that people were resin casting their own figures top to bottom, I think Kalaka Toys was one.
Mm,
Side.
yeah,
Um, I have a Crow Man right here. This is like my prize. I'll get him in the light here. Good. This is
mm.
one of the last Crowmans that Underworld Muscle made.
Oh wow,
Yeah. So really, I don't know. He's pretty much a I know you tend to lean to more towards like the translucent sort of artistic resin figures, but I really lean towards the ones that look most like factory figures, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. That's really what I'm into.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think there's, you know, they're all good, dude. What really blows me away is this kind of what you're talking about is sometimes you get ones that look like they are straight off the factory line.
Yeah.
They're not. Somebody made it in their garage, dude, which
Hmm.
is, I think we could probably sit here and go back and forth for hours talking about guys who are capable of doing that stuff. But so once you found out that people are, actually producing these things on their own, was that just kind of like a light bulb for you? Like, hey, I want to try to do that.
Yes, I have always customized figures even since I was a kid. Um, I was like, painting X-Men figures and, Batman figures, trying to make my own stuff when I was like 5. Um, and I had when I was in high school, I had an entire line of there were a toy line called Spider-Man and Friends that was like
Mm.
cutesy Marvel characters.
Yeah,
I had customized about 35 DC ones. So it was, you know, something I did. It just evolved and evolved. I kept moving that way, making more customs, and then my customs got pretty good. But then they kind of fell apart because I was using Sculpey and things of that, like less permanent sort of materials.
sure.
I realized I would not be able to keep growing if I didn't learn how to cast in resin and use something more durable. So it just sort of moved that way.
Moved into resin that way. Yeah. Um, and then you got on Instagram. Gosh, man, what? How many years ago was that now?
I mean, 2020 maybe.
Yeah, 2020, something like that.
I have the first resin figure I ever made. This
Oh
is
yeah,
Master Midas. He's a he's very glary because he's made of like fluorescent white. There we go. That's better.
oh
There
nice,
he is. Nice
clean. Wow.
skeleton monster. Pretty rough, but it's the first shot. So,
That's the first thing that you made.
yeah, that's the first resin figure I cast.
Wow, dude, that is sick. I like that.
Thank you. Yeah, he looks a little bit okay, but his balance is bad and his limbs are loose. He's not. He's got issues. I assure. He looks real pretty, but he's got issues, just like me.
Well, and the 5.5 figure, altogether, man. when you're talking about the Motu style, I mean, God, dude, the problems are never ending with those things, man. In the vintage
Yeah.
ones, getting them to stand is always a pain in the ass, which is another reason that I don't have mine displayed because some of them, you can only bend the legs so much where you're just like, now he looks like it doesn't look natural now. Just try to get him to stand up.
Yeah, I have learned to replace He-Man leg bands.
Yeah. So are you using the actual rubber bands or are you using the little plastic pieces that you put in there to clip them on?
I'm a purist. I use real rubber bands when
Okay.
I restore Motu legs. There's a factory in Argentina, I want to say, that has the original molds, and they run them off.
Wow, I didn't know that. I think I started looking at those with Hurt Toys a while ago. We were looking at how to repair 5.5 He-Man figures, and I want to say maybe Toy Polloi, something like that, was
Yeah,
had a couple videos on the rubber bands and the legs. Um, and then once you find that, then you kind of start finding all the alternatives to that.
yeah.
Uh,
It's a process. Either way, it's hard.
it's a process either way, man. But the rubber bands, man, that I'll be honest, dude, that is a bitch to do.
You need curved needle nose pliers. That's the trick.
Oh, is that what it is?
Hmm. Yep. You got to feed them over the little bar. It's not easy.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem right there, man. But I mean, shoot, dude, if you're able to repair them, I mean, I know that you can get, usually broken, 5.5 figures like that for, I mean, pretty much dirt cheap, right?
Yeah, depending on what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people just think, oh, it's not worth it to repair, and they just sell it for nothing.
Yeah.
Or it's just throw them away like the parents used to do. Oh, the legs fell off this He-Man. Throw them in the trash.
Gosh, man. How many of us probably went through that exact same thing where something's broke, and then we look back on it now and we're like, oh man, I could have fixed that, or I could have just
Yeah.
got another piece for that. But it's been gone for years.
With your increased skill level, you think back and you're like, man, that wasn't that bad of a repair. I could freaking put a new arm peg on a He-Man figure.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, so you're making toys, and then how is that progressing, man? And so to 2020, you're kind of now that one that you just made, was that in 2020 or was that previous?
That was 2020, 2021-ish. I don't work very fast, but yeah, I made that guy. And then I moved on to my next one, Lord. Here he is.
Oh man, that is sick too.
Little I keep one of all of my figures. So my wife always gets the first one. See, he's so white that he just reflects the light.
That is sweet though, man.
But there he is, magnetic articulation and everything.
Mm.
Fabric cape.
Mhm.
There he is.
Wow.
So that was the next one I made.
Now,
Um,
were you doing runs of these or were these just one-offs?
runs. I did full runs. I did
Hmm.
probably about 7 Draculords, and I did 5 of the Master Midas, the skeleton guy. Hand drawn card art on those. Hand drawn, hand painted. I didn't really know how to attach the blister to the card, so that turned into a whole thing.
Yeah.
I was not so skilled at package making then, and I honestly I'm still not. It's not my strength, but I'm a loose collector. I don't really think about the packaging too much, but sometimes I like to do it.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I think the majority of my stuff is loose, and I think that's partly because of the room it takes to to display carded figures, right? I mean, it's just like you need wall after wall after wall if you want to put everything up there. But
Yeah.
um, when you run into problems like that, man, like you say, you're not the best at packaging. Do you have a go-to that you say, you know what, I'm going to go watch a video from Barbarian Rage or whoever it is who's done great videos on packaging? Do you find resources just kind of out amongst the crowd?
I mostly just ask questions to people I know,
Yeah,
who are good at it. I don't really look at the videos. Sometimes I do. My one of my big inspirations, I'm sure everyone says this, is the Craftsman.
yeah.
He said in one video, he was like, "If you want to make you a little character, just do it." And I said, "You know what? You're right, Craftsman. I am going to make me a little character." So
Isn't that funny, dude? He's got that thing in his voice where you want to talk back to him, just like you're like, you know what, Craftsman? You're right. You're right. Craftsman. I should be doing that. You are 100%
he
correct.
does. I don't usually trust puppets, but
Oh man, that's cool, dude. I saw that he's getting into like some Safubi and
he's wild, man. He's always like onto something insane. I always think like, oh, he's just doing normal garage kid stuff, and then he's like injection molding. I'm like, what is going on? Talk
no.
about someone who always pushes himself, man. That's
Yeah, you got that right, man. We saw a really cool injection molding kind of demo from Kier's Customs a few weeks back. That was super rad, man. I wasn't aware that people were just, doing that in their garage, but
apparently.
yeah, he's actually melting down like perler beads and then using those as his kind of base, which is very cool. Cool cat, what's up, man? Um, so dude, what was the first show that you I mean, there's a lot in between there from making your first figure to actually hosting a show. What was the first show that you hosted? Was it GI show last year or was there something previous?
That was our first one that we hosted. Was GI Show. I actually did not know Kajuki um really that well at all when we did that show together.
Yeah.
So Geezer and Yoli were going to do a GI Joe show, and they decided not to.
Yeah.
And I knew that some people had made pieces, so I just group chatted Kajeki and Tone and Lab Monkey. I was like, "Hey, so you guys want to try and put something together?" And Lab Monkey and Tone were busy, and so me and Kajeki just kind of got smushed together. We're like, "Hey, I guess we're doing this show together."
Yeah.
So he handles the technical stuff, and I handle the people wrangling, and we pick up where the other one leaves off. I don't know. It's like like when you had a co-host with a show, it's chemistry. It just clicks or it doesn't. You know.
It is, man, and 100% right, dude. And yes, you're right, dude. I miss that, honestly, man. And sometimes what's very cool is that how different you are from your sidekick. Um, Sometimes that's what makes it work, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I think that if you're both into the same thing, it can kind of get kind of dry. But when you have people that are at two different opposite ends of the spectrum, as far as um, what they do outside of work, or I mean outside of this, and then collecting styles. I think mine and Crumb's collecting styles are uh, really, really different. But I think those combined, we covered so much area. So I mean, having a co-host that doesn't really jive is, man, dude. Sometimes that can be a great thing, dude. But you guys seem to be. I mean, here we are on show number 2 now, right?
Yeah, it's actually going. It's feeling ourselves out the first time, and we did a few things that we changed and streamlined and ripped off Lab Monkey more.
Hey,
So
man, I'll tell you what, dude. I've talked to several people that have ran shows, and as far as having a program to stick to, um, dude, it's a great program to follow. You know what I mean? As far as the messaging and hey, here's how
yeah,
we're going to do it, and it's very important that we don't do this. Um,
I
that's
try I try to freestyle a little bit more, but like he really, he lays down the law. If you're going to do a Lab Monkey show, you don't mess around. He'll he'll put you back in line if you do.
yeah, absolutely, man. And and that's I think when there's so many people involved, dude, that's always my worry about having so many people in the show is, like controlling a few people is hard enough, but then when you start getting up in there 70, 80, 90 people in there, I can only imagine all the different group
Yeah,
chats
I
you have to
really don't
be in.
know how him and Angry Beast even kept track of the wrestling show. But man, it was a that show went kind of wild. That was a crazy show. Everyone cutting wrestling promos and like it was a fun time.
Dude, I'll tell you what, man, that right there was one of the absolute coolest things I have seen come around this, whatever we call it, in the last few years, man. I think yours was the first one that I saw.
Yeah,
And
Here's Custom did like a little his wasn't so much a wrestling promo as a like an announcer type angle. And I was
yeah,
like I saw him do that and I was like, "Oh snap, I could do a wrestling promo." So I was just like, "You know what? I'm going to go after Tone and Lab Monkey." So I did.
Kira's Customs, man, Justin, he's really got that announcer voice. And I mean, I credit that to his newscasting days. But yeah, you talk about a perfect announcer for him or for that show. That's it. But the wrestling promos, dude, those were awesome. I think the Omni Res, the cards, those were freaking awesome. But the promos themselves, man, just to kind of see people kind of step out of I don't know, maybe out of their comfort zone. Maybe that's not the right word, but just do something different and
Yeah.
get involved in the show, man. That was sick, dude. I really like that.
Yeah, OmniRes made trading cards of everyone who submitted a photo.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Um, I got one of the full sets, so
Oh, now let's just say somebody wanted a set of those cards. How would they go about obtaining one of those? Are those like too bad, so sad you missed out, or what?
I have not talked to OmniRes specifically, but I think if there's interest, he might be willing to do them more.
Yeah,
I know that he was sort of like the people who bought the full sets were sort of subsidizing the idea that he might run off other sets for maybe a lower price, maybe.
yeah. Yeah, it was a great idea, man. And I mean, if you did now, you said you got a full set, man. Was everybody who was in the show, does everybody have a card?
Only people who submitted photos. So he had just like an open call. Hey, if you want to be he was going to make just cards of himself, and he was like, hey, if anyone else wants to be a wrestling card, just send a photo my way, and I'll add you. And there were 24
Oh, nice.
contestants who have cards, so about a quarter of the people who participated.
Yeah, that's cool though, man. I mean, over 20, that's still a good number. Dude, I'm just realizing one thing that I forgot to have on the show, man, that I thought you'd get a kick out of. Somebody told me that you are a huge Dr. Pepper fan, man. I was about to have just a nice big old cold Dr. Pepper here.
Yeah, I actually, I knew that people would be disappointed. I've got a Pepsi today.
Oh, see, good thing I didn't do that, man. You would have been like, I don't drink that, dude. I drink Pepsi.
I love Dr. Pepper though. So here's the thing. I'm not gonna say superstitious, but I like to do things the same way every time.
So you're
So
not superstitious, but you are a little stitious.
yeah, I'm just regular stitious.
Okay.
I like to every time I record my podcast, I always get a bottle of water and a bottle of Dr. Pepper because I did it the first time we recorded, and now I feel like I'm naked if I don't have my bottle of Dr. Pepper and my bottle of water. So it's become like a personal tradition.
Isn't that weird, dude? You know what I do before every show? And I don't know why I do it because it makes no difference.
Is it do you pray to a picture of Crumbs Blunt?
Well, that's a daily thing. That's a daily thing. I'm talking about the shows. I brush my teeth, dude. Why do I do that? I have no idea. I brush my teeth before every show, like it's going to make a difference.
Probably so
Um,
you don't come out here with like a giant chunk of resin in between your front teeth.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, man. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But and I mean, coffee and water. I know that Crumbs can speak to this, man. Is I think both of us drank, and him probably even more, just an ungodly amount of coffee, man. I mean, going through I mean, pots of coffee, in a 3-hour period.
Like you're
Uh,
trying to avoid Freddy Krueger.
yeah, exactly. Like I'm dead tired right now, and I don't want to be here, but this coffee is going to keep me awake. I know there was more than a few weeks where that was the case, man. Um, oh man, say your prayers, eat your vitamins. Yep, that's right.
What you
So
gonna do, brother?
yeah. So getting back to the shows, man. Like I said, there's a big gap between you making toys, and then so we were getting into what you're saying, the GI show. That was something that Behind the Bootleg was going to do, and that was kind of sort of already in the works. And then you guys went ahead and took it over.
Yeah.
Um, and then so after that, man, what was your? Oh God, dude, I don't want to fucking dance around this one. I was going to say, what was your take on the GI show last year? It was how many? Well, let's start off with this. How many people were in last year's show?
Same number, roughly mid 40s.
Wow, dude, it seems like there was so many more last year for some reason.
Yeah, maybe it was. I think maybe we danced over 50, but it wasn't that much more.
Yeah. Yeah, that's still a solid amount, man. Now, gosh, dude, was that the? Yeah, that's just about a year ago. So that was just about a year ago then.
Yeah,
That we
we did it in March.
March of
Freaking
last.
making a mutant. Dimension X stole our March show. We had to move on. Damn you, Dimension X, for stealing March.
What was the Dimension Next show? Oh, that was Sewer Showdown.
Turtles, yeah, Sewer Showdown.
Sewer Showdown, nice. Yeah, that's right, man. Dimension X on that one. That's cool.
The world, like we own March. You can't have March.
Well, and then I think with the way that Easter was messed up this year, is that Easter ended up being like in March too. So that's when we got the Robot Resurrection show. And I think March, I think we could probably safely say, was there something in February? Was Apocalyptico in February, or was that March as well?
I think it was February. Yeah, it was like super late February, I think.
Yeah, so I think probably February, March for sure. April for sure. I mean that
it's been like a show every 2 to 3 weeks. I don't even know anymore. It's all just a blur.
Yeah, it sure is.
It's a blur of toxic fumes in my garage.
Yeah. Oh man. So now that you said you were doing a lot of kit bashing, but you also mentioned when we first started chatting that when you started off, you were doing stuff with Sculpey and maybe stuff that wasn't so permanent.
Yeah.
Do you sculpt a lot? Do you sculpt your own stuff?
Wait, what? I missed that one.
Do you are you a sculptor? Are you still sculpting your own stuff?
Yeah, to some degree, I do sculpt. I don't think I have anything I've sculpted here with me, but yeah, the my Diaz for Dracula piece this year was a completely original sculpt. The little crybaby Dracula,
Yeah, right.
completely hand sculpted. Of course, Tone Twisted Tiger will point out to you that I did not sculpt the doll eyes that I put on it, but
You know what, man? I'm gonna pull up your account real quick. I thought I had it pulled up, man. I don't know what the heck happened here, but I want to take a look at some of those pieces.
sure, yeah. The other little vampire I sculpt is also an original sculpt too.
Let's see here. Bam. Okay, there you are. Oh. All right, let me share my screen real quick.
Do you want me to sing like a Taylor Swift song while you look it up, or?
Oh no, I'm there, man. I mean, if you wanted to sing, I mean, I'm sure everybody would love that, especially if it's Taylor Swift. I mean, everybody loves the Swifty, right?
I've got a blank space, baby, and
There
I'll
you
write your name. There you go.
That was good, man. I'm kind of disappointed that's all we got.
Did that touch you in your heart?
Absolutely. Oh man. All right. So here goes your the wrestling show piece, which I think is really, really cool, man. I love the red and the blue, but that tiki mask I think is super sick. Uh,
Someone pointed out that it's very Jack Kirby esque.
yeah, there you go. Nice, man. I like that. And you said that mask was made from a magnet that you have, right?
Yeah, a refrigerator magnet, like a '70s refrigerator magnet.
Here's the vanilla slice you were just talking about, sewer showdown.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
Tell me about this guy, man. It looks like there's some. Is there some sculpt on there as well?
because one of the first resin figures I started working on, I was trying to come up with some sort of a Vanilla Ice Ninja Turtle scale. And when the sewer showdown came around, I was like, you know what? I've had this body mold just sitting around for years. It's like I'm finally going to finish it. And then I realized, you know what would be way cooler if I mashed him up with a Ninja Turtle. So that's actually like the head and the arms are new, but that sculpted the I sculpted the torso on top of a Dick Tracy figure.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
Um, but I've literally had that mold sitting unused for like 4 years. It's a project I started and then abandoned. So I kind of came back to it, made new head and arm molds, and there we go.
Nice. Yeah, dude. They look great, man. Um, the
I
Dick
really try
Tracy.
to get as close to factory as I can. That's usually my goal.
Really good paint skills, man. What kind of painting background do you have? Just self-taught?
Self taught, yeah.
Yeah.
Just practice, lots of practice. That's all.
Practice and patience, man. I'm sure that I mean, God, dude, you start looking at some of these small little tiny details. And even on a figure of that size, it seems like it's considerably bigger than than what people are doing with minifigures and stuff like that. But still, the fine little details, man, that's impressive.
Toothpicks are my friend. If I overshoot it with the paintbrush, I just hit it with a toothpick before it has a chance to dry, scrape it back off, and that's how I get sharp edges. If I slip, I'm very meticulous. The reason I take so long when I'm doing a full run is, I don't accept less than perfect. It doesn't get shipped out my door unless I'm happy with it.
Sure.
So
Uh, and take me through that, man. So when you're talking about quality, as far as what's acceptable to you or not, um, what are the main things that you're looking for? I mean, I'm sure we're looking at cleanliness in the paint as far as staying in the lines and whatnot. What about like balance and articulation, man? Are those things like high up on your list as well?
oh, absolutely. As a matter of fact, I had issues with the magnets on this run of figures because I did it slightly differently than I usually do. I made the pieces in advance, and I don't know if whenever I'm putting magnets in, I drill the hole. I like to put the magnet in when the resin's still hot so that it's a tight fit and the resin sort of cures around it.
Yeah.
but this time I was running off pieces in advance, and I overshot it with the magnet holes. They were too big, so I ended up going back through and putting UV resin in the magnet holes to make sure they're tightened back up. And that was the big thing that held me back.
Yeah.
Um, Balance is important too. Um, they didn't want to balance properly, so I heated up their legs and moved them into place and dunked the legs in ice water so that the balance is correct.
Oh, wow.
I just meticulous about it. I know that it kind of looks breezy because it's simplicity,
Yeah.
but like something simple is way harder to get right.
Let me ask you this, man, and I agree with you there. Um, Coming from the collector side, do you think that has given you an advantage when it comes to producing pieces that need to be perfect? And what I mean is, you
I
said you're a collector already, and also you don't do a lot of package stuff, so you're
Yeah,
standing a lot of stuff up, man. And I know how freaking frustrating it can be is when you have something up and something falls, and it's just a domino effect, man. And it's super
yeah,
frustrating when you have a piece that just, no matter what you do, it just won't stand. You know?
yeah. The first shredder figure comes to mind.
Oh, the first shredder figure, yeah.
hmm Yeah, it always, I'm the guy who would stand there in the store and like compare who's got a better paint job.
Mm,
So it's like I don't want some. Say I make three of a figure. I don't want somebody to get the shoddy, like bad paint job that I was in a hurry.
sure,
You know, I don't
sure.
want to make. I don't want to make some giant Ultraman figure with magnets that fall out, and
Yeah, exactly. Gosh, man, we could go down the rabbit hole of quality issues and stuff, man. But I mean, I think what you said is important, dude. You don't want anything going out that that you wouldn't have up yourself. Um,
it's customer service, really. Like I've had stuff break in the mail, and I no questions asked. I send a replacement part or send a replacement figure. I don't,
yeah,
I have made parts just to send somebody a replacement part that I didn't have spares of.
mm. Yeah. It's I mean, that's going the extra mile, man. I think customer service I mean, even customer service in what we're talking about now, man, it's important. You always
Yeah,
want to get that repeat buyer. There's some artists that I have basically zero contact with, um, but their product is so good. That's what keeps me going back, right? Is just that the
yeah,
quality, the quality is there. Um, and then, I think when you've seen that kind of quality multiple times, if you happen to get something that's flawed a little bit, you tend to be a little bit more understanding on and say, hey man, this might be a one-off or something like that, because it's typically not that style. But that's important, man. Dude, what is this that I'm looking at on your page? This it looks like a Skeletor 3.75 in some made in Mexico packaging. What is
Oh, that's my buddy Karma de Pero. He's my favorite Mexican bootleg dealer. That's a real Mexican bootleg.
um
Super high contrast and cool. Those look really good on a shelf together.
yeah, definitely, man. I have several pieces from him. And you're right, Carmen DePero, um, I mean, he's got everything as far as the bootlegs go. I have some of those giant
Like
He-Man and
talk
Skeletor.
to him.
Yeah. Um, wow, dude, that's very cool, man. I like the header card on that.
Yeah, that's actual vintage Motu art. Just slap it on there. It's interesting because it's a Super 7 bootleg, which you don't really see, but it's the bootlegger life. Just run off whatever you can.
Yeah, exactly, man. And I've seen a ton of artists, that we deal with, locally, where, um, sometimes that is the style is taking Super 7 reaction figures, and then just kit bashing the hell out of them.
Yeah,
with something super, super cool, which I think works, man. I love that. Um, that you can sit there and just kind of mix and match and still come up with cool stuff.
It's like the Glyos stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, the Glyos stuff. That is it now, how about that, man? Is that some when you're doing articulation, let's say you're doing magnetic articulation, do you ever keep that in mind, like swappability between figures?
It's really funny because I am on my own standard, and my figures match up the opposite way of Lab Monkeys.
Yeah,
And Tone has pushed me to get in with that ABLM protocol, and
yeah, yeah.
of my old figures would match up with each other.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like I'm locked in. I'm locked into my polarity.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, man. And like, and the further that you go on, I mean, how do you keep track of all that unless you do them the exact same every time? Um, uh,
I tell you how I keep track of it. I have a big magnet that sits on my pressure pot, and I always check my polarity against it so that all my figures.
nice. Yeah, that would be. I
Oh,
mean,
it's Killer Bootlegs in the chat.
he sure is, man. I was showing that. I was showing that the Mexican piece, and he was saying he wish. Oh yeah, look at that, man. Ooh,
This is it. This is the real first Phantom Star Killer.
dude.
This is probably the most valuable figure in my collection.
Absolutely, it is. Let me put you on the solo layout there, my man. How long have you had that? Now, did you get that from the jump, or did you acquire that later on?
That is an incredible story.
Let me hear it. Whoo!
I walked into the local antique mall, and this Phantom Star Killer was sitting in a booth.
Oh, you're kidding me.
And I thought it was a Super 7 figure because it said $30 on it.
Yeah, yeah,
And when you're at the antique mall, you got to call the old lady over. Hey,
yeah,
old
yeah.
lady, can you open this case? I pull it out and I realize this is a real Phantom Star Killer. There's
And
only, I mean, he can correct me, but I think there's 25 of this.
now, at that point, did you already know who Phantom Star Killer was? Was this
Oh
like,
yeah, for sure, for sure. This is a recent acquisition. This is like last year.
oh no shit,
Yeah, real deal.
for $30?
Thir-
Wow.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
the find of a life.
so now, when you at Antique Mall, right? We got a couple of those out where I'm at. I'm assuming they're similar, right? Like people just kind of go and put their stuff there. You have the lady come over; it's all
Yeah.
marked, their price tag on it. Did you ever get the story about who had that and why they had it marked for freaking $30?
It's funny because I occasionally set up at toy shows and sell stuff. Um, I met the guy who runs that antique mall booth, and he does grading. He does toy grading and things of that nature. So he goes around from convention to convention. He probably just picked up that Phantom Star Killer for cost, thought it looked neat back then, sat in his stuff, and then went to sell it one day, just culling out the collection or whatever.
What a
It's
horrible,
an insane story.
what a horrible toy dealer to not know what you have. You know what I mean? Like, either I'm a toy dealer. Yeah, I got this. I don't know what this is. Some Phantom guy. I don't know. You can have it for $30.
A terrible toy dealer or a great toy dealer, you
Well,
decide.
for him, terrible. For you, amazing, right? Like, damn, that's
Uh,
wild, man.
yeah, that was a crazy, crazy day. Not only that, but my buddy Matt Hauk, he was really crying about it because he's like a big Phantom Star Killer collector. And I was really rubbing it in his face though. I wasn't very nice about it.
I mean, it's a great piece, dude. I think that, gosh, I saw one of those up for sale recently, and I mean, the price on it was astronomical, and deservedly so, man. Deservedly so. That's for what we're talking about, that is a grail piece, man. If there's only 25 of those out there,
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
wild. Pocket Salsa I remember when he showed me this piece too. He got an original Count Draco knuckle duster. from a friend for free at one point. I remember when he showed me that a couple years ago. That was really sick. Um, wow, man. So, and then as far as I know you're super busy with making stuff and the shows. um, are you still collecting to this day?
Yes.
Yeah.
Um, I am not so much collecting the modern toys that much, but because the price point has gotten so high on those, it's like I can spend $10 more and get something lovingly handmade by somebody.
Yeah.
Like there's a guy, a newer guy. Do you know Rocco Mashu?
Oh, yeah, 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 for sure. Mhm.
He's doing his first drop on Friday
Yeah.
of his little Phantom. Well, I forget what he's called, but his original character, $40 on Friday.
Yeah.
He's going to be doing a drop, and I'm like, man, that's what, like $10 more than the GI Joe. And this guy went through and did the work and painted, and
Yeah, man, and
the
that's
fact that he,
exactly it, right? Like, for people like us and people that are watching now, it makes total sense, right? I think where the crux of the problem is trying to explain that, um, to people who typically buy stuff over the counter all the time and say, but what you don't realize is this was handmade, this was painted, this is a limited run.
yeah,
Uh, do you ever run into that, man, when people just ask you, like, "Hey, Austin, what do you do? What are you into?" And you say, "Hey, I make action figures." When they hear action figures, do they just kind of go, "Oh, you're an adult who plays with toys," and then you have to get into this kind of like, well, let me justify it real quick for you. Does that happen to you? It happens all the time.
Um, I have the Instagram ready to go. I say, I make toys in my garage. I don't say, like, I collect action figures, but I don't care. I don't care what people think. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I just but I think people know me. It's just the expectation is there. They already know I'm a nerd. There's no getting away from it. It's not like they're gonna be shocked or surprised.
Yeah, yeah, and exactly, man. That's cool. That's the people that we're close with, I think they do understand. It's when
You
the
just gotta own it. You gotta own it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, man. It's when those other people. What about conventions, man? Do you do a lot of conventions at all? I don't know if there's any shows out where you're at.
Try to set up at least one big show a year, not just with my own stuff I've made, but just collection stuff I picked up over the years. Nice bin of loose Ninja Turtles, Masters of the Universe, wrestling stuff.
Yeah,
Um, just because I got to clear out some space, man. You
yeah,
know, it's just it never ends. You know,
yeah. It never ends, man. And I mean, like the further along we go, I mean, no one's going to stop making figures. So there's just going to be more and more out there, more variants and whatnot.
I find myself being a lot pickier with what I buy.
Nice. Now, do you see yourself? Now, does that carry over into the toy art scene, or is that just kind of strictly what you're buying over the counter?
I am picky with all of it.
Yeah,
Um, I really I like to support people who are lesser known. I'm not very inclined to, jump into like some big artist sale and try desperately to get something.
yeah,
Um, I think that Lab Monkey has the right idea in a lot of ways because he does one-off pieces.
mm,
You don't have to worry about demand as much. Of course, the thing about Lab Monkey, I don't understand how what he does is viable economically. Like he makes so many molds to make one figure. I don't understand
yeah.
how it's makes financial sense. If that makes any sense.
It does. It makes a lot of sense, and I don't know if you've noticed, just kind of with his pricing trends that have gone over maybe the last few years or so. But I remember he was doing these big, beautiful one-offs for actually like this guy right here, right? Like that one. This one actually came out of a behind the bootleg show.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah, the first one.
yeah, you remember this one?
Yeah,
Um,
I remember.
yeah, and it was gosh, dude, I want to say this was like $100, maybe.
Yeah.
Or and I mean, for what it is, the scale of it, the detail on it, the cleanliness of it, it's just stupid, dude. It feels so underpriced to me. And his prices have been going up a little bit over the last couple of years. But still, I think that if you do get a piece from him and you see exactly what it is, um, I think most people probably still feel that it's
It's a
underpriced.
killer value. I was so close to pulling the trigger on his wrestling figure.
Oh man, that was a good one.
You want to see how many Lab Monkey number 9 pieces I have?
I Yes,
Just this one.
that's a
Just
great one, dude. I have that same one.
technically 2 pieces.
Technically two pieces.
I
Um,
told him I'm gonna buy his figures like 1 piece at a time. I'm gonna see if he'll put an arm up for sale and just like the old Johnny Cash song.
one piece at a time, man.
Hey, Lab Monkey, how much for a torso?
You know what's funny about One Piece at yeah, exactly. One Piece at a Time. I was just talking to Hurt Toys. I believe One Piece at a Time was written by the one and only Shel Silverstein.
It was. That's true.
Yeah, that and Boy Named Sue. There was a few of them, and we were talking, saying, man, if you just laid that song out and just read the lyrics, right, you could throw that in a Shel Silverstein book, and it would fit right in, no
Did,
problem. But
did you know that he also wrote like adult poetry?
oh yeah, Shel
Like,
Silverstein, man, that dude, that is an interesting dude, man.
yeah,
Straight up
he was an odd fellow.
odd fellow, very smart, very creative. Um, a poet to no end, man. And I think the landscape of subjects that he touches on as far as poetry is it's crazy, man. It's one end of the spectrum all the way down to the other and everything in between. So,
Like the Giving Tree.
the Giving Tree, dude, that was an awesome one, dude. A Light in the Attic, Where the Sidewalk Ends. Those were the big three, I think.
Yeah,
Uh, and they were great, man. I mean, those are timeless books. But anyways, we're talking about Shel Silverstein now. But yeah, One Piece is
I'm really good at being distracting.
well, dude, and then for me, when I hear one word or somebody's name, I'm just like, oh yeah, I got a story about that. Here, this is one time. But the Shel Silverstein thing actually happened today when I was over at Hertz house earlier today, picking up this here giveaway we're gonna do here pretty soon. Um,
And all the figures for your successful drop.
fuck, unsuccessful, man. Such a bummer. You know
I'm
what's
sorry,
gonna
I can't help myself.
I'm gonna get off. We're gonna end the show, and then everything in my account, everything will be all probably fine by then. It'll be. It's just
Everything's going to be perfect exactly when you don't need it to be anymore.
absolutely as usual, as usual. So let's talk about what you're doing right now, man. We got the GI show coming up in the next 2 weeks. You and Kajiki. What time does that start, or what time are people dropping their pieces at?
I believe that will be, I don't know, sometime 6 or 7 or something.
6 or 7 Central.
Yes, I believe it'll be 7 Central.
Okay, cool. And then we'll do the. We got Death and Strawberries and Jad Wizard coming on to help me do a recap of that, which should be really cool, man. 44 artists. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know if you can divulge this at all, man, but did you have any stipulations as far as what was being made this year?
Yeah, we did. We were much more specific because last year was just kind of like, oh, make whatever. Um,
Yeah,
3 rules that we gave to every artist, and we agreed on this in advance. And it may seem kind of dicky because it's a little extreme.
mm,
The first one is the pretty standard: don't over reveal your piece. Don't go showing your stuff off before everybody else.
sure.
I don't know why people do it. Maybe they're just not paying attention, or maybe they think they're going to get some competitive edge. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah,
No, we didn't have a problem with that last year, but still, you got to be very specific about that.
sure.
Um, Number 2, no politics.
No politics. That's a good one.
It's like, I'm not doing this because I want to think about all the bullshit going on in the world all the time.
Dude, I couldn't agree more. And I don't know about you, but I know for me personally, coming, to the scene in 2020, um, one of my main reasons was to get away from all that shit, man. There's just so
Yeah.
much going on in our day-to-day lives. And then we have
Right.
big black cloud over us at all times. And the last thing I want to do is go to a place where I feel like I can escape and then talk about that or see posts about that. And it's like,
Yeah.
man, save that for Facebook or something, dude. This is just
Yeah.
this is
But
not
of course, no disrespect to the people who made political pieces last year, because I didn't specify, but
sure.
I think I went in kind of naive. I didn't really think about the fact, it's sort of a military property, and the slide was easier than I would have thought.
Yeah, it's and shoot, man, the time last year there was some stuff going on politically that I think, people, capitalized on. And but I think you're right, man. I don't think that's anything to be ashamed of, or to think that like that was a dick move to say you can't do that, because it just brings up so much other stuff that isn't
Right.
about toys that can kind of put a damper on things, because you have very passionate people on both sides who want to stand their ground for, whatever it is. And then,
Yeah.
then the toys in the show and the camaraderie, it kind of gets lost, man. It gets lost in all the sauce of all that political bullshit. So good on you, man. I like that you said not to do that. I think it's better just to stay away from it.
And rule number 3: creative character choice. Everybody loves Destro, Snake Eyes, and Cobra Commander, but do people love 50 Storm Shadows, Snake Eyes?
Yeah.
We gotta spread it out a little bit, make something different, be a little bit outside the box.
Yeah. And I mean, so I was talking to Death and Strawberries earlier. I think I even asked you, man, how many Joe characters are there? Is it over 500? Was I tripping when I heard that?
No, for sure, there's definitely more than 500.
Dude.
So you can, but I mean, okay, so I think there's about 400 in the original line, and that includes like Snake Eyes version 1, Snake Eyes version 2, 3, 4. They made Snake Eyes over and over again. We're not the only ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And
yeah.
I was just gonna say, I think that, for people that are I mean, I don't know, man. You would know better than me, but I don't know if everybody in the show last year was a diehard, GI Joe fan. Maybe they were, but I think the characters that definitely stick out are the ones that we saw the most. Those are the ones that I'm familiar with, and I don't want to say it's low hanging fruit, but I think when you're familiar with a character, you tend to kind of gravitate towards that. I do like the fact that you said, kind of spread your wings a little bit and do something different, and I think that probably pushes some artists to say, hey, maybe I need to look a little bit deeper and, like you said, do something a little bit more creative. That's another really good idea.
And those are my 3 official rules. The 4th official or unofficial rule is no action figures of Crumbs Blunt.
Hey,
we don't need the I don't know figure, okay?
I don't know. Why hasn't somebody made that? You could throw my dumb face on one of those cards even too. I don't know, because I didn't know.
Crumb said that you couldn't make a figure of him out of resin because the mustache would just make it tip over. So
facts, all facts, man. And then you put a cup of coffee in his hand too, and then that thing has got no chance to stand up. That's funny. Yeah, exactly. So, dude, we've been at this for over an hour now already. So we got the GI show coming up in 2 weeks. Tell me about your podcast real quick. I don't think there's a lot of people that know about that.
We have me and my buddy Chuck. He owns a toy store. We do a show called the Figures Sold Separately podcast, and it is I know a lot of these toy shows that you see on YouTube are sort of like super hyper detailed, like mega specific nerds that want to talk about like action figure variants and stuff, but we take a sort of broad view and look at it from more of a pop culture perspective. How the toys make us feel from when we were kids, or basically, how I ramble and distract. That's basically what we do. It's ramble and distract the podcast. So we just talk about speed on VHS or whatever. We sort of tie it to the toys, but it's pretty roundabout and casual. So check it out. Maybe.
Yeah. The YouTube link is down there. These figures sold separately. I just want to touch on something. Crumbs had a really good comment, man, and he was just kind of backtracking on kind of setting the scene of what the tone was for him and I during that show. And no disrespect, Crumbs, for reals, bro. That was not a shot at you in any way, man. That just it's I think it's something funny that we can look back at and laugh now. And
Yeah.
just, it was just kind of a goofy thing, but it was, man. It was a hard time. He was out of town. He wasn't in his regular spot where he was, and I know that was already frustrating for him as well. Um, there is some stuff, just in general that I was frustrated with, and I think it was kind of the perfect shitstorm. Is kind of what it was. But here we are. We're gonna do it again this year, and I think it's gonna be a good one, man.
The
Like I said,
funny thing is, at the time, I really like when we popped on the show. I really didn't feel any negativity. It was like it felt real smooth. And then after the show, people were all like up in arms, and I was like, I didn't really feel that at all. I thought it was pretty cool, but I don't know.
well, and that's exactly it, man. That's exactly it. I know the episode was a little bit rough to get through, but that being said, I think we definitely turned it around and pushed through and made it. And then all the tomfoolery kind of started after the show. But and from what I know, we're all still here. And it's just a thing that happened. We move on, and I don't know. I know that it's still like the number one watch episode of Toys Alive. I know that much. So, um, but it's that'll be another fun one this year, man. Especially Death and Strawberries and Jazz Wizard coming in. Some guys that are super knowledgeable on Joe's. I think that'll really help and add to kind of the whole feel of the show.
Yeah,
And
for sure. And
knowledge.
I think it'll be good. This is the return of the Jedi.
Yeah, I'd say that again, man. You cut out real quick.
This is our return of the Jedi. This is the redemption arc.
There you go. There you go.
We're skipping Empire.
Yeah, exactly. Nevertheless, we saw some good pieces last year. It was great to have you on this year, man, or last year, and then we'll do it again here. So the podcast, you got the GI show coming up, man. You got any other big events happening your way?
No, I'm gonna get one of those like touchy feely. Hey guys, I'm stepping away from Instagram after these shows because it's just too much. I'm gonna be like, I can't take the pressure anymore. I'm done.
I put so I mean, just kind of going down the line here at the bottom line, I put you had recent work appearing in Apocalyptico 3, Super Showdown, Robot Resurrection, Scraps 5, D is for Dracula. I mean, that's going back. You've been in almost every show.
Yeah, I'm insane.
Month. So I think that's kind of that's what I've heard from a few people is that once they kind of get through another show, it's might be time to just kind of sit back and take a deep breath and regroup and just kind of get your shit together for a minute, man. I know everybody's been super busy.
I want to make something for myself and not, the thing is that having the deadline and having something specific to make pushes me to actually get something done. But, I would like to make something a little bit more free form that has nothing to do with anything and it's just me messing around.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's where I'm headed.
Right on. Just relaxing a little bit, man. I mean, I'm sure it's going to feel good not to be under, any type of gun as far as a schedule goes or something like that, man. I mean, all deadlines are kind of off the table, and it's kind of time to sit back and just maybe reflect a little bit on what's been going on the last few months. So,
but if you invite me to a show, I will do it. So
that being said, everybody has a show out there.
I just want to throw that out there. I am not taking my name out of consideration. Please, if you want me to be in your show, just say so. I'm a little bit of a wild card. You never know if it'll be good or it'll be different usually.
Jimmy Folklore, he's got a great idea. Cavedweller Shrek solo show.
The Shrek solo show. You know what's really funny is on April Fool's Day, I posted that, hey, we're doing Shrek extravaganza.
You fucking got me on that one, dude.
But now Kajiki is talking to me, and he's like, a lot of people are really interested in doing this show. So there is an outside chance that the Shrek show will actually happen.
Wow. Okay. Well, I
Uh,
mean, if there's that many people that want to do it, I mean, and the shows don't necessarily need to be 30, 40 people. I mean, I've seen really good shows with a dozen people in it, you know?
the show is going to be it's going to be just me and Aaron Fist, and that's going to be it. Just two pieces.
There you go. Technically, that's a
Simultaneous
show.
reveal.
I guess. I guess technically that's a show. Oh man. All right, my man. Is there anything else that you want to let us know before you head on out of here?
um, um, look both ways before you cross the street.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Safety
That
tip from
that is all.
Oh man, dude, thank you for coming on, man. We could probably sit here all night and just kind of shoot the shit about whatever.
Yeah,
Everybody keep an eye out for the GI show coming up in 2 weeks. That's week after next. That's Cavedweller and Kajiki Toys coming up. Look for the drops around 7 Central Time, and then we'll do a recap here on Toys Alive that night, which would be really cool to have those other guys in the house to talk about some Joes.
yeah, absolutely.
Right on, man. I appreciate you, dude. Thank you for coming on
Thanks for having me.
early and make sure everything works. That's a load off my plate. I appreciate that so much.
Yeah, absolutely. I should just jump in blind. Oh yeah, it'll probably be fine. Let's go.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And you know what? It always is fine. You know, we get caught up and we do other things. And then, hey, what do you know? Next thing you know, we've been talking for 2 hours and we're good to go.
I'm just gonna do the old Stan Makita donuts, pretending to talk into the drive-through. You know,
Yeah.
cutting out the voice. What?
Yeah. I do that with like a coworker, man. I do that to some coworker sometimes, and they know I'm bullshitting them, but it's just like,
I had to bring it back around to Wayne's World. It's full circle. That's
there
what
you
we call a story arc.
You're right, dude. I forgot about that on there. God, what a good one. Cavedweller, thank you very much, man. Looking forward to the GI show. Best of luck in all these shows that you're going to get into. Looking forward.
I'm gonna need it.
Yeah, looking forward to that vanilla slice. That's going to be super sick, man. Again, dude, thanks for coming on, dude. Appreciate it very much.
Thanks for having me.
You got it, buddy. Boom. Oh, let's see. No, I don't know what that is. Some warning came up. I'm not sure what that is. Boom. Cavedweller Toys, man. He's got a lot of stuff going on. I mean, gosh, you talk about a history of not only toy collecting, um, but you know, getting into the shows and making pieces, man. Talk about starting from scratch. And he's hitting it all. I mean, like, you know, we probably could have done an hour on making toys. We probably could have done an hour on setting up a show and, you know, the ins and outs, and positives, negatives of that whole thing. Interesting dude, man. Very cool. Very involved in the scene. I'm glad that dude is amongst everybody. You know, he's the guy who pulls people together. That show, the Kajiki Cavedweller GI show, again, is in 2 weeks. Everybody check that out. Boom. Next on the list, what do we got next? How about we talk about Phantom Lake? Whew, Phantom Lake. If you haven't done haven't got into Phantom Lake yet, you will. There's not too many posts up there, but the ones that are up there are super sick. He just had a piece in Droid Vomit, or issue number 2. Also, there was a really cool print that we'll take a look at that was in the Psychedelic show put on by Tycho's Tacos and Pocket Salsa from last year. Oh man, Vanilla Slice is a delicious cake back home, says Fletch. Interesting. Funny that food is what caught my eye. Shocker, right? All right, Phantom Lake. Here we go. Let's start off easy with Phantom Lake. Let's talk about some of these stickers. Great stickers. Phantom Lake loves you. 1982. Be mine. That's awesome. The Phantom Lake logo. Very nice. How about that fatty right there? Awesome. How about this guy? Whew, that one right there. I got that one in green too, actually. Bam. Those are awesome. Um, with you, my spirit slips away and dances naked with the devil. Bam. It's another great one. That's just the Phantom Lake stickers right there. Phantom Lake had a, gosh, if you guys remember, he had a, oh yeah, man, the green one. That's what I'm talking about. He had a pack that he gave out as assembly required, was going to give out as assembly required. And I really think that assembly required missed out by not letting that piece into the show for multiple reasons, man. But that was something that was phenomenal. I don't know if those are going to pop back up again, but that was insane. Let's take a look at some of the packaging real quick, because the packaging is nothing to shake a stick at. This is the box that it came in, right? And then so just look at the box and you have that Phantom Lake sticker on the box. Now that's just a nothing thing, right? Like, you want to keep that sticker somehow, but that's dope. I mean, you talk about going the extra mile on the packaging. This right here, oh man, so we're talking about prints here. These are really thick cardboard envelopes. Look at that, the numbered on there. Very nice. Put that on there. Clean, super, super clean. That's the other one, 2 of 2, bam. Some of the other packaging. Now, check this out. So the stickers that I just showed you, the stickers actually had their own envelope, and the envelope was that. Check that out. That's an envelope that holds stickers. Boom. Nice little perforated top on there. Incredible. So if you're trying to work on your sticker envelope game, you might want to hit up Mr. O'Keefe. Here's something that I didn't frame. This is the Afterlife Beyond Flesh Volume 1. There was a lot of cool stuff in here. This was part of the Robot Resurrection show. If you can see on here, he has a stamp, his logo stamp on there. That is super clean, man. That's something that you don't see every day, but very, very nice. Bam, just going through this real quick. I mean, the work in here is just outstanding. Just incredible work, man. And I'll tell you what, this guy's got some projects coming out that's just going to blow everybody's wig right off their head. QR codes in there. There's some links to some music. That is awesome. How about this? This was the envelope for that zine. Again, it had the perforated top, so you got to peel that off. But check that out. Look at the orange. That orange is on a separate piece. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's not colored in there. That's like an overlay. That is sick. Yeah. Very nice. Here's another one. This one needs to get framed. This one is not framed yet. This is a test print. He hooked this one up. I believe at assembly required. That is killer print right there. Love that. Bam. Phantom Lake Press. All right. Now we're getting into some good stuff here. That was all good stuff. This is better stuff. Here's one. Now, the frames that I that I picked for these, I got these floating frames because I think I have a little bit more flexibility as far as trying to line stuff up like multiple pieces. This piece right here was his. This was from the psychedelic show again that was put on by Tycho's Tacos and Pocket Salsa. But I framed that up. That's in a 14 by 14 floating frame, and just looking clean as hell. I threw in 3 stickers on the side there. That is an awesome sticker. Logo, and then that same sticker again in a different color. But check that out. Some UV madness going on there. Phantom Lake. Again, this was the psychedelic show piece. Boom. Oh, Dre, happy birthday, bro. If it's your birthday, I saw someone wish you happy birthday, man. Right on. This guy. Oh, man. So this one, gosh, this might be my favorite one. If you guys saw in his in the Robot Resurrection show, there was a pack that he did, and it had a couple of things in it. But one of the things that was in there was a pack of RoboCop cards, old school RoboCop cards, and this was the header, Cosmic Death Cop. How freaking rad is that? Boom. And again, with the stamped logo right there. Who's doing stamped logos these days? Phantom Lake is. That's who. Bam. This is just the header for the card, or the header for the bag that it came in. So check this out. So this is the Cosmic Death Cop, and then he actually gave me a print of the Cosmic Death Cop as well. And so I put those together. Again, I believe this is a 16 by 20 floating frame. So we'll just kind of take a look at let me turn this off real quick. Or at least turn it this way so get that reflection. There you go. That's the Cosmic Death Cop print that came, that was folded up inside that pack. That is super sick. And then this is the test print of that same print. So together, and it's kind of hard to see because it's so big, but I mean, this is clean as hell. All this stuff will be displayed in my house here before too long after I make some room. But I mean, what an outstanding piece. Damn, Cosmic Death Cop. If I even tried to talk about the printing process, that he goes through to make these, I would butcher it because I don't know. I know it's very involved. I know it's not something you can just sit down and do. I know it takes a lot of time. And man, he is acing it. I'll tell you what, if you don't want a print of that Cosmic Death Cop, like, man, check your pulse. That is so damn cool. Bam. There you go. That's another Phantom Lake. And how about this one, man? This one, I did not use a floating frame for several reasons. God, this is a beauty. Salvation Beyond Flesh. That was the print with the zine. And this is just in a, it's a nice, just thick border wood frame with a glass front. But golly, that is clean too. Phantom Lake. Uh, Here's some more of the packaging, man. I mean, like I even kept these, the perforated pieces that come off just because, um, I mean, you just don't see that. It's got little direction on there, unfold, tear this way. That's crazy. Um, his packaging. Here's some more packaging. And this is all very thick. I mean, it's thin, but it's thick, right? Um, really good protection. I'm gonna. I don't. Maybe this doesn't even need to be said. But I know as a collector and a buyer, I am extremely happy when I open up a package and people are using painter's tape. You know why? Painter's tape doesn't stick like crazy to a bunch of stuff. If you start using packing tape and all kinds of other tape and ways to just kind of put bubble wrap, sometimes what can happen is you end up damaging the figure because you're trying to get the piece out and then the tape is sticking. With painter's tape, either blue or orange or whatever you're using, that stuff comes right off. It holds really well, but it comes right off too. It's easy to tear. For me, when I'm packing stuff up and sending it out and wrapping stuff up in bubble wrap, painter's tape, man, that's the way to go. Um, I think it is. I think when I'm unopening the package and I see painter's tape, I know it's going to be a nice and easy removal of the piece, and I'm not going to have to fight it. So, painter's tape. That's my tip for the day. That's Phantom Lake for you. So, like I said, some amazing pieces. God, this Cosmic Death Cop, though, right? Woohoo! Golly, incredible, incredible work from Phantom Lake. Like I said, I know that Phantom Lake is going to have some. There's some other projects that he's currently working on, and then just some other ideas kind of floating out there that I know are going to be. They're going to be hitters. They are absolute home runs already. I can't wait for him to produce some of those and put them out, or just kind of see where they go. I mean, just the beginning ideas of some of these things are amazing. I mean, just totally blowing me away. Um, but the dude is an artist. I mean, we're not talking about making toys, but what goes into these prints, the time, the thought, the process, it's crazy. And then to take it even a step further and do the packaging and to be so freaking clean. I mean, I think there's really something to be said for people that do really, really, really clean packaging. Um, a lot of you guys out there do really clean packaging. I think there's some that is noteworthy because they stand out. Terrible Toy Works, that's one, right? If you've ever bought a Terrible Toy Works piece, the packaging and the layout of that stuff, it's a piece in its own. It's mind blowing. Phantom Lake, same thing. Everything that I've seen from him so far is top notch. Just freaking um, Colin, what's up, dude? Uh, it's phenomenal work. It's clean. It's professional. It looks like it was all well thought out. Everything fits very nice. And you can tell that when you get into a piece like that, or you're opening a package, you can tell how much time went into it just by all the stuff that you're having to undo. I've never got anything that's been bent or folded because it's protected so well. Um, Moral of the story is, if you see anything out there by Phantom Lake, um, buy it, buy it and frame it. It looks like great art wherever you want to hang it. You might even be able to hit them up and see if there's anything left. Like I said, there's only 4 posts on that page with a few things that have come out so far. But that being said, you never know what people have in stock and what they don't. That right there is a phenomenal package, and everything that I've seen from him so far has been killer. Um, Great dude on top of that. Um, Great dude on top of that. I met him in person. We had, I've talked to O'Keefe. He's a hell of a collector too. I'll tell you what, man, that dude. If you just go back through some of these old posts, which I know nobody will do, but if you look at some of these claim sales that people have where they're doing multiple figures, like Pendragon, right? Pendragon does some where he just does, like maybe 10 or 15 different figures and 10 or 15 different posts, and you can claim whatever you want. You start seeing how many the same people are buying, and you're like, wow, this guy's collection must be extraordinary. Um, yeah, phenomenal package. That's right. That's just for you, buddy. Um, but I knew him as a collector, and then saw some of his other stuff and some of his other prints, and I was just like, wow, man, this is like way better than just, hey, I'm just messing around making some stuff. Come to find out, he does have a little bit of a history as it pertains to prints, um, and you can tell. I mean, it is original. Um, it's top notch. All that being aside, man, I met O'Keefe in person at Assembly Required last year. Had one of the best times I've had, in recent memory with that dude, and I really hope that we can hang out again, man. It's it- you know, there's not too many people, when you meet somebody and you say, "Oh man, I dig this dude," and you're just vibing. And it's like, you start talking about where you're from and how you grew up, and a lot of it kind of lines up. And it's like, dude, I mean, O'Keefe is a straight up big time homie right now, and I'm very very proud of this work that he's doing. It's amazing. If you ever get a chance to grab some, do yourself a favor and grab it right away. That being said, let's give some stuff away. Eh? How many people did we get this week? Now, I gotta be honest with you. I think I kind of messed up. I didn't mess up. Maybe I just need to plan my posts a little bit better. I do the Wednesday giveaway post, right? And then that one really kind of gained some speed up into showtime. I did have another post about her toys in there and his drop before that. And I think that kind of distracted from the giveaway. So if you signed up for the giveaway this week, you got a really good chance of winning something. Let's see how many people are actually in there. Um, oh man. Um, Anybody who I'm just looking through the comments a little bit of people who I did that post, unfortunately, of that I had to delay her toys drop. So if anybody has anybody who had some positive comments about that, it's shitty, man. It's just one of those things, but I do appreciate it big time. So let's see how many people we got in the giveaway this week. First up, we're going to do the DKE box. Let's see. Comments. All right. 27. All right. So 27 in the wheel today. And we're giving away two things. So if you signed up for the giveaway, you got a 2 in 27 chance, which ain't bad, to win something. And just remember that you also have um, it's every Wednesday is the giveaway post. And you have all the way up until showtime to get in there and get yourself a number. So that being said, let's share the screen, do the number picker. So first up, actually, you know what? Let's show what we're giving away real quick. First up is the False Idol Addy toy. Also, Invisible Sucklord. Also, Suckathon Season 1. I don't know if there is a Season 2. It says Volume 1. I don't know if there is a Volume 2. This is very cool. You'll see a lot of old school guys on here. Just kind of shooting the shit. That being said, there's a lot of good info and a lot of good little tips you can pick up on if you're paying attention. By the way, plastic vomit with the chain. I'll tell you what, man. These are sick. What I like about this one too, he made the back flat, so it sits flat when you wear it. Resin printed, painted, plastic vomit. Mm. And also this Manly Art magazine. This is all in the DKE box that we're going to give away right now. So, yeah, the Addy piece is great, dude. I do like that. And like I said, if anybody knows what their IG account is, go ahead and put it on here. It's not in the. Oh, check that out. It is on here. I totally missed that. What a dummy. Um, Yeah, it's on there. See that? That's where you go right there. Bam. All right, let's spin the wheel for this baddie and just see what happens. All right, good luck, everybody. Let me share the screen. Bam. Number wheel picker. Share. Boom, 1 through 27. Here we go. The question of the week this week was to get on Cavedweller's page and find something that you like. Lots of good comments in there. There's a lot of good stuff. Good luck, everybody. DKE box coming up. Boom, and it is number. Who is number 19? Bam. Ooh, that was close. That was close. Oh man, nothing is working today. I believe it is ocular rhombus. Ocular rhombus. Ocular rhombus is on a streak of epic proportions. He's won a couple times here in the last few months, and then he's actually been winning stuff all over the place that I see pop up here and there. But ocular rhombus, man, Ernie, congrats on the DKE box. Very nice. Now, bam. All right. Congrats, Ernie, on the DKE box. Now, what we're going to give away is a Hurt Toys sticker. That's it, just the sticker. Just kidding. It's actually a Skull Crusher 3.75 with a sticker. Check this out. Now, this is not a carded one. You can only get the carded ones in the drop. That should be happening Saturday, right? So we're going to say Saturday, 10 Pacific time. The carded Skull Crusher 3.75 that was supposed to go up today will be in the ToyzAlive shop. I will definitely do a post about it. That being said, how many times have I said that being said tonight? That's actually getting slightly annoying to myself. I'm going to try to stop saying that. Remember a long time ago when every time a guest would come on, I would go, there he is, there he is, there he is. And it took like 10 people to repeat that. And I'm like, I got to stop saying that. That's stupid. So anyways, Skull Crusher 3.75 magnetic articulated arms, nice iridescent cape, ToyzAlive pink. There is some original sculpt on there. You know as well as I do that Super 7 doesn't make a figure with a Skeletor head and a trap jaw, but you leave it up to Hurt Toys, and that's what you're going to get. Oh, man. Bam. That's what we're shooting for right now. The Hurt Toys 3.75 Skull Crusher. Also, don't hold me to this, but every now and then we'll be talking, and Hurt Toys and myself, and he kind of kicks around the idea of redoing the mold for the 5.5 Skull Crusher, which I have several of. And I know there's a bunch of them floating. I don't want to say a bunch of them, but there is some floating around out there. And that is a outstanding figure. Really, really cool, especially with the capes and the different variations that he did. There's so many good ones. This one, the 3.75 version, is something that we've been talking about for a while. He's been talking about for a while and said, you know, I'm going to pump this out. And dude, straight up, man, I know that he's my homie. He's my best friend on the face of this earth, dude. But this dude has not had the easiest time recently. All right. So I think that when artists start having a hard time, it can really get you in a funk as far as the creativity and maybe just saying, you know what, I'm just going to stop for a while, man, and let till the water settles and um, maybe just pick it up in a little while. Not him. He grinded these out. He was going to do some loose ones and only a couple carded ones. He ended up doing all carded ones. You know, got some good news, in his personal life, and I think it was just a shot that he needed to kind of get these things going. And they're phenomenal, man. Super, super proud of that dude. Not only for the end result, but really just kind of pushing through. He was the first one to jump up when I even mentioned doing the ToyzAlive Big Cartel store. He was the first one to jump up and said, "Yo, that's me, man. I got to be the first one." And he's right. He's got to be the first one. And God dang it, I'm glad he was the first one because I just that much more less embarrassed that we had the big snafu with the website today. It's a little bit easier to explain to him than it is to somebody else that I'm not close personal friends with. So, anyways, that being said, long story short, there it is, 3.75. Hurt Toys Skull Crusher. Let's get this baby going. Good luck to everybody who is in this one. All right, here we go. 1 through 27. Here we go. Everybody to the Hurt Toys 3.75 Skull Crusher. Recycle Galaxy. Congrats, my dude. Kentucky represent. Yes, going to the Bluegrass State. Awesome, man. That's a great win, dude. Recycle the Galaxy, man. That dude had some really, really cool pieces. I don't know if they're still up in E2K at all, but there's some really, really cool work, especially with the 3.75s. I think this will fit right in with your 3.75 collection, my friend. That's a score, dude. That is a big time score. Woo! Nice. Man, congrats, dude. Yes, Recycle Galaxy. Do me a favor, dude. Please send me your address. I feel like I've sent you something before. I really don't want to dig back through, um, 2 years worth of messages and try to find that again. So if you could shoot me your address either on my personal page, which is right here, B to the J, or at ToyzAlive, send that over to me, man. And congrats again, dude. Thanks again to DKE Toys for supplying the DKE box. We got plenty more of those that we'll be giving out through the year. Next week, Yo-Yo Dine Toy Division coming into the house. Scott with a K. He will be in the house. And then following week will be the GI show. And that will be myself, Death and Strawberries, and Jazz Wizzy will be in the house. That'll be a fun night. Thank you, everybody, for coming in tonight. That was a good show, man. I wish we could go longer. I just don't have anything else to talk about. We got a good amount of people in the room, but thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you always for the support. Please look for that ToyzAlive, or I'm sorry, the ToyzAlive drop from Hurt Toys in the Big Cartel shop this Saturday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. $40 for the carded Skull Crusher. You can hit the link in the ToyzAlive bio in the Big Cartel shop and just kind of look around. Crumbs, I'm buzzing you in, bro. I'm buzzing you in, and it's your time, man. But yeah, thanks everybody for the support. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Again, look for that ToyzAlive, the Big Cartel drop on Saturday. Thanks again to Cavedweller for coming in, man. That was a great interview. DKE for the stuff, Hurt Toys for the stuff. Congrats, the winners, Recycle Galaxy and Ocular Rhombus, you lucky dogs. We will see you all next week. I'll do a post here for the Hurt Toys piece this weekend just to confirm. I really think that everything's going to be ready to go tomorrow. I wanted to give it one more day just to make sure. But like I said, go take a look in the Big Cartel shop. If you had any suggestions for me in the Big Cartel shop, that's the first online store that I've ever done. If anybody had any suggestions, even if it's talking shit, thank you very much for the people who did email me already and wanted to show me that, hey, your email is working, and you were talking shit, and that's all good. Thank you very much. If you have any suggestions about the website, please let me know. I'm always open to suggestions and doing different things. So also, if you're an artist out there and you want to do a drop at the ToyzAlive shop, let me know. You know, I don't really want to get on a big speech about who deserves what, but I do know this. I do know that 100% of what is sold in the shop goes directly to the artist. I take zero cut. That's just the way it is. It's an exclusive thing for the show, and it's in the shop. And I think these are figures that could very well be sold by the artists on their own, but maybe just a little bit wider of a platform if they put it in the store. And like you said, the more people that talk about it, the better. So thanks a lot, everybody, for tuning in. I am rambling. I'm going to go walk down the street with my necklace on, and that's about it. Have a great weekend, everybody. Again, Yo-Yo Dine Toy Division next week. Scott with K in the house. Have a safe weekend, everybody. Peace.